Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Goddess High Priestess Empress Alba La Panthera. This is going to be a live ethereal energy update. Prior to coming on to the live here, it was directing itself, the energy, more so towards those of you who are feeling closer to the ancient soul at this moment, okay, your primal source at this moment, okay. Also, with that being said, you could be in a position to have to make certain decisions that you've made before, but you had a higher level of discomfort that didn't allow you to understand and therefore accept the decisions you've had to make, which placed you into the lesson or the karmic cycle again. But now, the way the cosmic frequency is with the amazing energies of dark goddesses, not dark as in bad. Over here on this channel, a lot of the things that we discuss are not based off of good or bad or right or wrong. We're more based off of universal law. So you can do your own research based on what that is in particular, but it's not man's rules, just to keep it short and sweet. Okay. So yeah, now you're in a position to make those uncomfortable decisions. You may have already made them. For some of you here, you've made the decision. These messages are going to basically be your comfy blanket and basically just confirming, okay, you wasn't tripping. You see why you see why you have to do what you have to do, okay? Because in a nutshell, your peace, harmony, serenity, your ability to be calm throughout your journey as a soul spirit having a human experience is more important than any personal dynamic you have external to you. So part of these decisions are, where you're recognizing what's what from an observer's point of view. And it did it again. It did it again. This is why, where we was going with that. This is why I've been making it a little bit more challenging, or less challenging rather. Less challenging because of seeing it from the observer standpoint, where you're not absorbing what's going on in the reality. So you can get to the root of it. So if the main decision was a seed, you were making decisions based off of what was blossoming. Now you've made the decision to get to the actual seed before the roots even begin to grow again, before a new cycle steps into a blossoming stage. Okay. So let's see what we have going on here. I want you to inhale for 4, hold it for 7, and release for 8. You're gonna hold for 4, inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, hold it for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more times. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Release for 8. And relax. Okay. Let's go. What planetary are we in, my loves? Let's see. Mars. Let me refresh, make sure that is correct. And it is. Mars hour. The hour of severing. This could be severing in the way you overgive in situations, okay? Wow. The mudra for Ganesha. Manifesting 23, 5. Change. Change that comes after severing. What would prevent you from manifesting or calling in your deepest desires? This mudra assists in inner sight, focus, and confidence. The benefits is that it directs breath to heart, chest, and ribs. It assists the digestive and immune systems, awakens and uplifts energy, promotes confidence and courage, evokes the qualities of universal protection and clear direction. The element is fire. Instructions. Bring the palms together with fingers pointing upward, interlaced. Extend the middle fingers forward and wrap the index fingers around them. Align the thumbs side by side, softly touching the middle fingers. Hold the mudra in front of your solar plexus, fingers pointing outward. Relax the shoulders and focus on this affirmation. As I manifest my desires, I am fully protected. As I manifest my desires, I am fully protected. Some of you have, okay, one more time. As I manifest my desires, I am fully protected. Now, in the past or recent past, you may have held on to your emotions, expressing yourself while you have these emotions, specifically the emotions of rage, as a result of not expressing the way you truly feel about a situation, and not doing so because you don't want to place someone else in an energy where they don't feel well, in a sense. So you basically have time and time again have sacrificed your emotional security for someone else's lack of or absence of them knowing their own emotional security. So you would basically give away your emotional security to someone who probably doesn't even know what that even means, where you do what you must do so that way you can be in a grounded enough state. That way you are able to express yourself fully. This is a space for those who are wise, attentive, to being able to read the energy of the room. If I sense that you are not of that frequency, I will just block you off this channel. Simple as that. We got things to do here, okay? Let's grab one more. Yeah. This could be an example of where people have a distracting tendency around you, and you may have expressed yourself about it over and over and over again, but may have not taken the appropriate action, which is removing them from your energetic space, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and mentally. Okay? We have here alignment, manifesting and alignment. What's at the bottom? Water element, see? Emotions. It's important for you to feel, allow yourself to feel these emotions. It doesn't matter what dynamic you may have to people or person. Feel what you are feeling and address these feelings head on, especially during this Scorpio and Sagittarius season, and with Mercury going retrograde. It's about to go into Sag, and it'll be in Sag for a bit, but it'll go retrograde just thereafter. So where you are at right now, okay, everything that's coming to the surface in the external, or that you may be still experiencing internally, you're going to feel it even, you're going to sense it even more as Mercury goes back into Scorpio once it steps into Sag. If I'm not mistaken, it already did that. Yeah, that's today. Mercury in Sag at 0 degrees, so it's in the womb state. And then it goes retrograde on the 9th, 6 of Sagittarius, which is Virgo. So pay attention to, yeah, see, yeah. It's the 29th right now, right? Where you are at in terms of the signals that you're receiving from your nervous system, it's the same type of energy that's going to kick back in come the 9th. But what's it's going to have you do, okay? It's going to bring up any form of miscommunication in regards to things unsaid. So let's say there's something you want to express now, but you don't have the courage and strength to do so, where you mean what you say. Because there's a lot of times where you can say certain things from a reactive standpoint, but you may not necessarily follow up with the actions thereafter because you start feeling sorry for people as to the way you may have said certain things. Okay? Or whatever feeling you may get as to why you negate that boundary that you just set. Where you are at now, you're going to experience a similar frequency come the 9th of November, around that time that Mercury steps back into, well, it'll go retrograde on the 9th. So it'll step back into Scorpio, actually, let's do that. It'll go back into Scorpio on the 18th. So emotions may get high in regards to the way you're processing your thoughts. And the reason why these emotions get high at this time, it's because while it's in a fire sign, it's more of a direct type of energy. It wants to relay that message. And Mercury from Scorpio going into Sagittarius coming up full of emotions. You got the water element here at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So this could also be where some of you may have had issues with dreams, not dreaming as much. And it's because you're suppressing too much emotion and you're not expressing yourself. So your subconscious is not going to take you to that realm where it's the way the mind, body, and soul has a way of protecting the vessel. It's amazing. It's amazing because, again, some of you may have had issues with dreaming constantly or remembering your dreams. Part of that can connect to where you are suppressing your emotions and not saying the things that you have to say, literally have to say. And so much so that when you say it, it opens up your second house of finances and values, because the mantra of that second house, okay, which is your material security as a result of emotional security, says I have. So there are things that you may have had to say, but you have not said it. This can create, a discomfort within your nervous system. So now you're not firing off on all cylinders as you are perfectly designed to, due to what the external, situations or people or person is having you feel as though you shouldn't say this because of the dynamic between you and them. Remember, your peace is more important than any personal or people dynamic that you have around you. Because until you respect that, you won't be able to have proper relationships in any area of your life or in any dynamic of a relationship within your life. Whether it's friends, family, children, whomever, whatever. Whatever, as it's, some of y'all may be having, hypothetically speaking, or not even really, you may be having car issues because your car and you have a strong connection, frequencies and vibrations, electricity, that you are constantly sending a signal that is causing a dysfunction within that vehicle. Especially in this here timeline that we're in, where nothing is being kept from the collective. As far as your supernatural ability, it's natural for you to be here, but you're also super. So be supernatural. Okay? Shout out to you, Virgo. So, manifesting what the goddesses have to say here. The African Goddess Rising Oracle deck. The first one is this one. Okay. If you didn't see it, wait till the end when it's posted. Gratitude for the gifts, y'all. And you can just replay it back and see it. Let's see. I'll read alignment at the end. Wow. 9 of Wands energy. Wounded Healer. 15. Segment. $15 in tarot is the Devil card, Capricorn energy. Oh, we're going to have to get to the bottom of this. For manifesting to be clarified by the Wounded Healer. However, with segment here, speaking of getting to the root of things and protecting one's crown, the sun, crown, solar plexus, and this specifically solar plexus, because this mudra as instructed, you are to hold it in front of the solar plexus. So solar plexus controls or speaks to one's self-expression. Now, with the wounded healer showing up here, this is giving off Chiron's energy very strongly as well, where you have to disconnect yourself from the wound as pain. We have Mami Wata at the bottom of the deck, number 30. Because what some of you here are actually manifesting is the ability and productivity that you have in regards to utilizing your voice, communicating. This could be information about the cosmos, whatever it is that you are intrigued by. But there is this planet Saturn here. Some of you could be experiencing your Saturn return. So you could be 30 right now, 29, 30. Solar plexus. That's literally, yeah, 15 to 21. Something echoed, because I just heard an echo just now. Something is echoing from the ages of 15 to 23. That's coming up to the surface now. So you can remove this part of the title of wounded and just be healed. Healer, just be healed. Alchemy, yes. Celestial alignment, Shay, alignment, wow. And celestial alignment comes out here. 3. Showing up again. 11, 11, 5, 11, 38. You could be a life path 11 with 38 is also significant. Wounded healer, alchemy, celestial alignment right now to shift you through and out of that. Let me see something here with the chart. Is it this one? Might be. Becoming the miracle instead of chasing it. Therefore, there's a dismantling of victim consciousness and the awakening of embodied mysticism. Ancient Kemet, Egypt could be of significance to you as well. 11s is very strong here. 11, 11. Pillars. Truth at dawn. Mercury and Sag right now at 0 degrees. Which is the storyteller's spark. This is where your thoughts are seeking liberation and meaning. So here's what this is. In order for you to make a decision, let's say it has to do with whatever area of your life, you have to make a decision that has a possibility of making others uncomfortable for whatever reason. That reason or reasons is none of your business. 1. The way you will look at it as an observer is by first going in. If you're someone who shows up here quite often, you'll hear this quite often too. Look at every situation as your soul choosing these dynamics to evolve. I'm gonna say that again. Look at these situations as your soul before coming into this realm, choosing it in order for the soul to go through that evolution process. So that way you can step away from attaching yourself to why things are happening, because some of you are extremely wise. You're tapped in and tuned into your higher self, but shit be happening. And it brings you back to a lower dimension just a bit, for a bit. What you are to do in that moment is just observe it once again from the perspective of, I chose this person as family member, child, husband, wife, friend, acquaintance, environment, just for the soul to evolve. If when you say it once, you don't find a shift in your nervous system, say it until the energy calms you down, and go through that breath cycle, that breath work of inhale for 4, hold it for 7, release for 8. Do that 12 times. Because it'll easily grounded, balanced out, so you're not too high up and too low. So that way the decisions you make sense to you. Because a lot of times when you're not in the observer mode and you're making these decisions, you're hoping, which is a lack of faith or an absence of faith, for the decision that you make to make sense to you and others. But it's not about others. Because you can make a decision that appeases other people, but now you're no longer feeling grounded, rooted, and secure within yourself. You still feel a little antsy. Now, once you make that decision, let's say you do feel a bit antsy, give yourself at least 20, I would say 24 hours to be realistic here, to allow that energy to rise. Because for some of you, it's been sitting in between the solar plexus and the sacral for so long that in order for you to understand the decisions that you make for yourself, it has to get into the heart chakra. It has to reach here, because this is where the understanding happens. Well, now the forgiveness that you have for yourself and others can fully take root. So that way you can lessen the load of that lesson, and the mental energy that gets invested within it, which now trickles into the way you feel and the way you feel within your body. Cry if you must. Scream it to a pillow if you must. But release it where you're not hurting yourself or others, as far as a physical or verbal response rather. But allow that energy to move through you, especially with this alchemy card showing up here. Because the resisting of, making a decision, why, and thereafter, it's a feeling where you may want to have conversations with other people to express what it is that you're feeling, but be very mindful of doing that and allow yourself to sit with yourself. I'd rather you chat it up with Chat GPT about it than you before you go to somebody else. Okay? Because right now, the collective has on their side the celestial alignment to be able to observe your emotions and not drown in them. Right now that the moon is in Aquarius, this is basic. The way you move through this effortlessly, is being able to be in water and breathe at the same time, in a sense. So being able to swim and float, not move too quickly, because the quicker you move, you know, to get to a space above water, the further down you're going to sink. All right, so alignment. You can be feeling other people's emotions at this time strongly too. So the key here is to go from detachment to gaining divine perspective. So this is basically an expansion of collective awareness through your emotional intelligence. Just channel your feelings into art. If you're someone who has your own cards, attain your spiritual insights, dive deeper into your spirituality during this time. Okay. So you could be already. Alignment, you have harvest, clarified by harvest, 43 at 7. Mask. Okay, pulling the mask off. Get more familiar with your rising sign, the energies of your rising sign, because there's something here about some of you moving through life just off your sun sign. And the way you are interacting in your environment is more so of the frequency of your rising sign, especially if they're, obviously, if they're different. If they're the same, you can still, you know, see the difference in regards to degrees. Awakening, harvest, awakening, 4340, 434. Okay, some of you, specifically speaking, are manifesting that luxury home. 434. I just recently saw 434 on this postcard that had to do with an invite of a luxury home. Dharma, aligning with Dharma, your purpose, North Node, and the mask comes out. What's at the bottom? Brazen. Heal thyself. It's time for you to allow yourself to get the best version that you give to everyone else. That's another thing you can process when you are making uncomfortable choices and decisions. Where are you giving everyone else your best except yourself? And do that for yourself. That way you can truly see who people are around you. You know, where you're giving to them more than you are giving to yourself and putting yourself last. That's the martyrdom syndrome. That's victimhood. Which is what this Saturn in Pisces final dissolution phase is all about. It's removing all of that. So once Saturn goes back into Aries, you within the collective can fully align yourself with your cosmic awareness and the purpose that's aligned to that. You have the choice not to fight certain battles and wars all the time. You have a choice. Begin choosing you. The emphasis right now is begin without turning back. It's safe for you to put yourself first. It's more than safe to do so. And you see that once you validate yourself on that notion, how much calmer you'll be. Because right now, the Scorpio season is not a game. It's not a game. It's not. You got Mercury, you got Mars, you got Black Moon Lilith in there. As a matter of fact, Lilith, talk to the people, beloved. Black Moon Lilith. Oh, honey, iced tea. It's about stepping into one's rebellion and true knowing of themselves. Tapping back into one's alchemical wisdom that was most demonized. It was basic. Okay, the way we're going to express here as far as demonized, it was more so something that's of a higher vibration was pushed into a lower realm or a lower chakra where it has the ability to reside within all chakras. Okay? If black magic has been done to you, it's going to be worse by you being here. It is funny. People just be... Anyway. See, it could be something of that nature, too, where the weakness of people is no longer being tolerated. Especially if you are someone who has the ability and has taken actions to liberate yourself from a weak mindset. And because you were able to do so, it's just an example that it can be done. Not to say that everyone should, you just know that it can be done. So others can also make excuses, but one is no longer tolerating knowing that everyone has a choice to make. No one is no longer tolerating the weakness and the ignorance that comes from people to be sitting in a state of fear. It's that simple. Okay. To understand Black Moon Lilith in astrology, we must first dive into the myth. Lilith is the dark divine feminine. Her narrative is about power struggles, raw instinctual emotion, rage, destruction, and creation. Lilith was the first woman, and her story appeared in ancient folklore and religious mythology from the cradle of humanity in Mesopotamia, Babylonia, Sumeria, and Semitic culture. Her story evolved from an evil female demon who seduced men and killed babies to the role as the rebellious mother of humanity. Adam and Lilith were created equally from the dust as opposed to Eve, who latter came from Adam's rib. This is all allegorical, okay? But that's just the way it's stated in this text. However, let's get a message directly. Coming from the rib is the most allegorical one. The other stuff. Okay. Black Moon, Lilith, and Sagittarius, and the moon comes out. Yeah, free yourself, intuition, and emotional healing. Intuition and emotional healing is going to allow you to free yourself. 23 and 9. Do we have 23 and 9 up here? Yeah, 23 is manifesting. And you got these dogs sounding as though they got their toe cut off or some shit. 23, 23. Manifesting intuition and emotional healing showing up here. I was picking up that energy too earlier. Someone could be expecting. Adama, Mother Earth. Yeah, someone could be. 16, number 7. Mother Earth. Yeah, okay. The charge from the planet here. Honor your boundaries. The charge from the planet right now, it's important for you to honor your boundaries. The splitting of the earth. This. I want to see the mask here. Show me the mask. The mask. You are worthy. And this is number 2. Black Moon, Lilith, and Taurus. Beautiful images too. Stop playing it small. Show yourself. But honor your boundaries. I feel as though that honoring your boundaries and this you are worthy message that's coming through here together, 12-2, 1-2-2. You may be around or have suppressed a certain level of energy within you that influences you to not be all that you are. Yes, someone is certainly expecting, because there are 2 cards here with the belly. Or there's something about that. Honor your boundaries. Okay. This alignment that you're manifesting is a massive gift here. This is 10 of Pentacles energy that I'm feeling now, where family, health, finances, mind, body, spirit, and soul, amazing. As you're going through this alignment, the alignment process of it, this is why it's important for you to honor your boundaries. So you can free yourself, or better yet, allow yourself to be open and receptive to what is now your moment to receive, which honor your boundaries also come into play when it comes to being mindful of the energies that you're surrounding yourself with that may have you feeling as though you want to take somebody's head off their fucking shoulders because they want to get beside themselves. Or they want to act as if shit is all beautiful and peachy when you don't fuck with a certain type of person. You know what I'm saying? So be smart about the next step that you're taking. You have nothing to prove to anyone, not even yourself. Okay? That's what this is. Let's say you've been manifesting a certain idea, business, partnership, relationship for years now. I would say let's say at minimum 2 years. Okay? Right now is the moment where you were approached with this opportunity, the alignment of it, multiple times already. But let's say you have somebody around you that you don't fuck with and you have to constantly defend yourself, or, you know what I'm saying, get into that protective mode, just prevent an argument or say something that has to do with you protecting yourself. It shifts you out of the alignment of the path of least to no resistance for that which you've been wanting to manifest as your heart's desire is to come in. because you dealing with this fuck shit over here. Don't allow yourself to get distracted. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Do what keeps your nervous system at a beautiful, even keel. If you get an invitation or whatever the case may be to whatever it is, and whatever that initial response from your body is, go with that first. Because some of you already told yourself no about something that you don't want to attend. And as moments go by, you know, you possibly start planning just a bit to go towards it, and you start to notice that you getting a little antsy or agitated. It's because you now have stepped outside of honoring the boundary of something that you already within your body said no to. That's okay. When it comes, literally, when it comes to the splitting of the earth, it's as simple as that. It's those who recognize the initial response of the body as to which direction to go or not to go, and those who ignore it. It's that simple. 15, verse 33. It's something I'm going to paraphrase it by saying, tell me who you with, and I'll tell you who you are. Know that the universe operates with you in that same way. So if you're asking for luxury and then you around fuckhead ass people, the universe is going to continue to give you some fuck shit. See what I'm saying? It's that simple. So take heed. 4440. 40 is what? Awakening. Yeah, I got you. 1911, 711 on the clock. All right, so you laughing, I'm serious. I mean, that's the best way to, you know what I mean, to explain what's happening. And I feel as though the disclaimers in my description as to the way I express myself over here. Okay, I mean, people be wanting to have people who have their own channels to express themselves in a way that makes them comfortable. Bitch, you walked up into my spot. You can leave. You can leave. And that's significant too, in regards to the energy. You can leave. Neptune, chill out. 30. What's 30 over here? Oh, it's at the bottom of the deck at one point. And what is 30? It's right here. Vulnerability. Naked. Okay, vulnerability. Mami Watan Yemaya showing up. 30 and 40. 10s. It's completion of a cycle for real. Yeah. Yeah. Because coming 2026, that's a cycle year 1. You have Neptune. The hidden message here has to do with magic, imagination, and illusion. So let me look at this. Neptune in Pisces right now, 29 degrees. Saturn's in Pisces as well at 25 degrees, 4 degrees apart, both in retrograde. So that's the language of no longer chasing miracles and becoming one. So the Pisces convergence asks for discernment between compassion and escapism. Collective, you're redefining spiritual boundaries. Yeah, Neptune is not playing. Neptune is not out here. These cards are popping. Yeah, look at this. Sublimation, spiritual magic, 40. Awakening spiritual magic. Mind you, You know, this eagle here can fly above the storm, but look where you at, collective. In fact, you're one and the same. Scorpio energy as well. Eagle or the phoenix. Give me a second, because we're about to simplify this. Yo, wait, this energy is set up beautifully. Restructuring faith and detoxifying illusions. If you feel as though that there has been a dismantling of victim consciousness thus far with the messages that are resonating, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel as though that the messages thus far are martyrdom consciousness, put a 1 in the chat or in the comment section below. Once it's posted, because some are going to watch this on a replay. Anywho. Okay. I didn't even check the settings here. Where'd it go? Hey, where your comments go? How I can't see y'all comments now? Amigos. Okay. So we got some ones in there. Ah, shade. Now, the strategy right now, especially with the North Node in Pisces collective, is surrender. Okay. Now, that may not always be the easiest to do, right? Because if somebody comes at you sideways, your initial reaction is sometimes, who the fuck is you talking to? Now, see, here's the thing about this here Scorpio season, honestly. You can move that way right now. I ain't telling you to do shit that's gonna get you, you know what I'm saying, in somebody's system. However, get it out your system though. You know? Just saying. Just saying. Eat more grounding foods. You can look into food provisions, which are vegetables, foods that are grown from the ground. If you from the islands, you already know what's up. Life energy comes out here. Okay. The happy fairy of sunshine brings lots of life-giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadows that needs to... The smile on her face right here, this image is awesome. I'm loving life, but I will bring the shits too. He's on somehow. Wish a motherfucker would. Yo, these cards be having me rolling. Yeah, life energy to heal. You gonna have to say something. Tell me, look at this one with the rainbow on some. Come here, let me show you some shit. Look at her face. Let me show you something. Yeah, I'm sweet. Let me show you how sweet this shit is, though. That's funny. Making them aware. You got it. Okay. Precious time. Bridget's energy. This is wild. Just notice where we going with this. Bliss is beloved. The fairy of time wants you to experience every moment fully. Okay, I'm not saying to do anything that's gonna have you in somebody's system, but make sure you do what you have to do to get it out your system. So, she said she wants you to experience every moment fully to make the most of your precious time. And be mindful not to waste others' time either. You know, that's a way of wasting another person's time, is not saying what it is that you have to say. So, you know what I'm saying? When they can get the fuck up on out of there and keep it moving. Because people only play with people as one allows them to. Promise you. Hold on, y'all. Hey, y'all. 1 second, okay? Well, more than a second. I got it. We didn't even get to the tarot cards yet. This is crazy. What we doing? What are you doing for us, Oh, I hope I didn't freeze that, because that'll be too man. No. Okay. Let me turn this incense on. Some of y'all, one of you here or around you is nervous. I don't know. What you nervous about? Maybe nervous about a conversation or okay, the conversation that comes with the decision. Let me put it here, because someone could be nervous about a conversation that comes with a decision. Remember, first look at it from the perspective that you chose these cycles and experiences for your soul to evolve. So it's on some, you go to practice to get better. But if you complain about the practice, you'll stay in the same spot. Okay? You know? So look at it that way. Let's see what else here. Okay. Protection and purity. So detoxing is actually going to be a form of purification, protection here. Honoring your boundaries is part of that. Being mindful of what you allow into your body or around your body. Honestly, I would say do that to the middle of December. To the middle of December. Blissful evening, Monique. Always trust in the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart and within you. Look inside your heart and within it. You will find the answer to your question. Let's put this over here. Purity. See, okay, so what I'm sensing is you have to get, you could be a Scorpio. You have to get grounded, specifically rising, before you psychoanalyze these downloads you're receiving. You've been fasting and eating more? Okay. Okay. I just got chills. On the right side. It's going to help you process the situation in alignment to the intuitive nudges you're receiving. Right side of the body controlled by the left side of the brain. The fairies of protection are shielding you with the magical fairy ring of love and light and darkness. Okay, so there could be, some of you have to charge up your talismans, specifically rings. And before you embark on any spiritual work, be sure to practice psychic protection. Especially during the final months of this cycle of this year. Yeah, so here's the thing. Because now this is an ancestor type of message coming through here. With the absence, the further absence of the veil. And then any other physical altar that you have around you. Okay? Be more consistent with tending to it. Do the cleaning and the workings with it, your altar. The letter P is significant though in that message too. P. Let's see. Q. P and Q. What's this? Check the planetary hour. Oh, my shit turned off. We're in the moon hour. So this could be, for one, it's an ancestor, specifically a maternal. You said to clean up her altar. And also, she could be the mirror of you, the opposite sign of you. So if you're an Aries, she's a Libra. She's letting you know to forgive them, for they know not what they do. You could be an Aries, or this has to do with an Aries. 322 could be of significance. Or July. So if you are a Cancer or Leo, this ancestor could be a Capricorn or Aquarius. Archangel Raphael is assisting you at this time. Healing of the heart chakra. Learn from the past, don't stay there, because you're the ones. This is for all of you then. This message. You're the ones that carry generational wealth, and you have all the tools of and for success. Where this is going to be for you, rising sign, first house energy, and second house, I am and I have. I am, there goes the mask energy. Get more acquainted with, get more familiar with your rising sign's energy and the planet that rules it. And your rising sign is your chart ruler anyway. So, okay. Let's see. Archangel Haziel, God sees, the God of mercy connects. So May 1st to the 5th could be of significance. Forgiveness. That's funny as shit. Past life. So this is a past life connection, cycle that's being completed. That's why, in terms of your March Aries, look at the situation from the perspective of your soul chose this experience, because that's already confirming it there. Certainly Leo vibes. Someone is a Leo. There could be a situation of love, justice, karma with a Leo, Taurus, Uranus and Taurus. So when Uranus goes back into Taurus, because while Uranus is in Gemini, Uranus is in Gemini, is restructuring your neural pathways as to the way you process your thoughts. While it's in Taurus, it's basically going through the rewiring as to the way you process awakening or sudden changes through your body or the senses of your body. You're both Leos, okay? The mask, look at that, the mask showing up here. The yellow with the solar plexus showing up. The mask must drop as this response, as this is the response with this power, etheric essence. So your alignment has to do with an etheric essence, celestial alignment. Let's look at that. Which one is it? Here? Yeah. 41, 5. The change is showing up twice. 5. I smelled oranges just now. 7:33. Oranges could be of significance. Florida. That orange smells good. Amazing. Forget good. It smells amazing. It smells juicy. High priestesses. Temple of the high priestesses. Your natural path is to be in alignment with your own divinity. No one can take from you what they didn't give you. Now, no one can take from you what they didn't give you. I'm hearing someone tell a child, I gave you life. And that is sitting within your vessel as to the way you make decisions or have conversations with this person and others, because of the seed that energy plants, where because they gave life to you, remember, you chose these dynamics before you entered here. Not in a position of one being better than the other, but you could have easily chose someone else. If this has to do with a parent. Or for some of you who have children who are of an age that can express themselves, they could have chose someone else. But their destiny chose you for a reason. Not in the sense of one having ownership of that child. You're eating fruit salad with orange zest in it right now. Okay. Okay. Wow. It smells very good. It smells so fresh. That's wild though. It's a blessing to have you here because that means your energy aligns with mine. You can actually be here. 1221, okay? Yeah, you're ready to break a cycle, 1221. You're, okay. There's so many things that's coming through right now. You're here on this channel, collective, because you're ready to break the cycle. I'm not the only channel that does that. I'm not saying that. It's 1122. Yeah. You're here because you're this is what resonates with you. You chose this particular moment to encounter me. We had this conversation before we all came down here. Yo, when we get down there, all right, when you start diving into your purpose, we got the signal, we know it's time, that type of shit. Yeah. Celestial alignment is being in sync with the energetic feeling, the frequency of the sacred. Everything that you desire is in that frequency. Match it with your feelings. So you see why it's important to honor your boundaries? Is there any of you going through an experience right now that you are open to expressing, just so I can help you out well, it'll be real quick because we'll get right to it. But because I'm picking up on energies of, dang, what should I do about this, because this person is this dynamic to me and this, that, or whatever. Again, in a nutshell, how many times have you placed yourself aside just so this energy could be okay? But you continuously placed yourself in the Five of Pentacles, or you allowed yourself to be left out in the cold from yourself. It shouldn't be a hard decision at that point for you to be there for you. Because it's evident that you can be there for others. Not saying that it must be reciprocated on their part, but it's really up to you to now begin to choose and align with those that can reciprocate that same energy that you give out. Okay. You know, so the best thing is to have those conversations. Now, from a child to a parent, if for those of you who have children that are expressing themselves to you in a certain way, I would say this. They may not be able to verbalize it in a way that it creates productive and effective communication, because they may still be going through the transition and the translation as to what it is that they're feeling coming from a mother and father. Okay? Where part of your child's decision before coming here was they understood that dynamic and that energy as a battery source to place into their vessel to move a certain way. But if they are unaware of the instructions or the manual as to how to process that, that's when the bumping of heads can happen. However, even with the instructions and the manual, that can still happen. But now it can easily be transformed into a situation where there is an understanding from each party's perspective, not each one understanding the other, but each one understanding themselves. When now the energy internally begins to shift, which now creates a different dynamic energetically amongst you all, when now the process of thoughts begins to shift and the experiences and conversations and the way things are expressed also begins to shift. You know that saying where it's not what they said, but the way they said it, in a sense? Although that's not something I care about in the sense of what's the message? Say whatever has to be said. And the reason of not caring about it is because of the notion of being able to observe and not take it on. But that's also where Scorpio's using vibes. This is also where occult information, astrology, knowing your chart, knowing your human design, knowing your numerology, knowing your galactic signature can help you to move accordingly and not be so reactive in situations. You know? Let's see. Yeah, past life. Okay, let me see what was coming through here. Look at this. A galactic signature message. The solar seal of the blue monkey. The action of play. Have fun with this. Meaning, let's say you're going through a situation and I'm saying have fun with it, and you look at your circumstances and the first thing you gonna say, what the fuck am I gonna have fun with? This is hurting, right? But this is where the observer mode kicks in. Place yourself into the position of your higher self, watching the movie you're playing out in the micro that you are experiencing within your vessel as an actor. That's the way you go about that. Just as any other thing, it takes practice. You get the script, you got to go over the lines so that, you know, you have it on point. So, yeah. The zone of the magician. Yes, we are right now. Because once again, the eagle flies above the storm. It has a view on the storm. It can choose to fly under it. But it has the ability and uses that ability to fly above the storm. You, collective, also have that ability. But you have to use it. Now, ideally enough, when we think of Saturn, Capricorn, 10th house energy, your career, the way people recognize you, things of that nature, the mantra of that 10th house says, I use. Its influence or the energy that it, the access that it shares in the energy with this Cancer, Capricorn, Cancer, 10th house, 4th house. So until you clean that house, your roots, where you come from, the way you respond to the way you come from, you won't be able to utilize your feelings appropriately to step into that inner authority, 10th house energy, which is also now giving you the ability that once you do have that handle to step fully into your legacy. See what I'm saying? We're about to go into the Venus hour right now. In a minute, 7:44 on the time, 1944. It was just 77:22 on the timer up there. Okay. Quetzalcoatl could be of significance. The feather serpent, Mexico. Olmecs, Mayans, Aztec, Hopi, Navajo, Mount Shasta, Rocky Mountains. You're here to establish the beginning. You're here to establish the beginning. So remember, because of that, Proverbs 18, verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they who indulge in it shall eat the fruit of it. So you choose the fruit you want to consume. And remember, you do have this fairy assisting you with the fruit of life. Greetings, Panthera, Soul, and Fatima. Welcome, my love. Shout out to the members of the channel. I love you all. So monkey. So this could be someone's galactic signature. Blue solar monkey. The essence of intention, the power of pulse that gives forth the action to realize. Throat chakra energy showing up here. Let me see what we're talking about. God sees. Archangel Haziel, Chakma, wisdom, Uranus, Lapis Lazuli, Aventurine Hematite, the cherubs, guardian of lights and stars, reconciliation with the version of you that is a guardian of lights and stars. So if you're new here, okay, just know that we go through many dimensions as we're going through messages. So that's why you may hear one aspect of it here and there, but we'll put it all together. You'll see. You don't have to see. You need to prove shit. Look at this. Get into your human design. That could be of significance. Welcome, love. The giver. Okay, see, and there's a reverse, which came out at the very beginning. When we looked at the planetary hour that we were in at the start of this message, it was Mars, which has to do with severing, and then giving showed up at the bottom of the mudras, which is you severing how much you overgive in situations. Watching the movie, yeah, this is part of the karmic lesson that may have been rejected or resisted. Okay, gratitude, my love. This movie, amazing, amazing book. This is actually my favorite, one of my favorite books in the 6th grade. Okay. Let's see. Hagalize. Ooh, storm. Destructive forces of nature. Okay. So, usually, okay, when you are watching a country or a location go through the forces of nature, there isn't usually a form of laughter. Okay. Meanwhile, you got people in JA, which is very significant to the T in regards to the splitting of the earth. Because those that were posting videos of dancing and moving along life as if it's just a rainy, windy ass day at this point, all they experienced was floods or heavy winds. But where you had people screaming and in fear, which is understandable, there was a lot more going on in terms of tearing of the houses and stuff of that nature. All that did was confirm for me what I've always felt as to the way these elemental forces move on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So it was just amazing to see the difference. Not amazing for the way the situation turned out for certain people, but this is how connected we are to this realm. It's the same as if you were thrown into a deep pool. You have to know how to swim through it and move through it so that way the water is not keeping you at the bottom. When you're doing too much moving and commotion, you're going to stay at the bottom. But if you just center your body, if you have ground that you can propel yourself off of or push yourself off of, and allow that energy to get you to the top. And that's an easy 1, 2, 3 that'll happen. Or kicking your legs in an even flow, propelling yourself upward rather than, you know what I mean? So Hagalaz 19. This is the rune of destructive forces of nature elemental and hail, which represents crisis, radical change, acceptance, surrender, opportunity. The message is don't trying is an insult to doing, to fix what should break before it breaks you. That's what this rune represents. Do not attempt to fix what should break before it breaks you. Specifically, do not attempt to fix others by placing your emotional security to the side to fix them, because it's only going to continuously break you. And this is another point as to where one should be more than okay to make a decision that others may not agree with. But your mind, body, spirit, and soul is at the edge. And it's important for you to make the proper decision for you. Everyone else will be all right. If they not, again, what anyone else feels or thinks of you is none of your business. And literally, child or not, when you are filled with the higher self within yourself, you don't have to worry about that experience or anything at all for that matter. But in, you know what I'm saying, pushing the envelope to have a self-designed response on your timing, that's ego moving, you know? So this also represents radical change, severe weather, which is happening in certain locations, psychoanalysis, Scorpio energy, Scorpio season, and it's exercising, as in exorcism, disharmony. Inevitable fate of the weird, W-Y-R-D, which means supernatural. The word weird, which is actually a rune as well, means supernatural. So when someone says, oh, that's weird, it's supernatural. People interchangeably use strange and weird. They're not the same. Be of significance, 93, 2005, 81. Represents success and respect. A lot of galactic signatures is coming through here. Red Dragon. The action that you are being guided to take has to do with nurturing, as this is your pure essence. And Neptune, which will connect you deeper to your magic, intuition, imagination, and breaking through illusions. And then the throat chakra shows up twice already. Let me see. There's an activation of galactic memory here as well. Also establishing the genesis, the beginning of the evolved genes within your bloodline. That's why it's important to move a certain way right now and not in the way that previous generations have moved to prove a point, to connect to levels of success that were not necessarily connected to one's soul mission anyway. You know? which is what makes TikTok amazing, when you see people doing different lives on things that they are intrigued by. And then people wonder, how are they getting so many views and all this following? Because they're tuned into what they desire to do, not what anyone thinks about it. I don't give a fuck about that. You know? So, yeah. Okay. We're going to switch decks. About to get into this Celtic spread. I don't want to mix these up, but for some reason they look it to be together. That's cool. Put these nearby. Something about these to be together. So I got you right now. I got you. Let's see, dive deeper into these vibes. Here we go. Let's see why all of this was coming up to begin with. What's this? The arts could be of significance. Let me see what energy they want me to bring this in with. What is it? Past life? Cool. Okay. Got it. All right. So I gotta get into my Virgo vibes. Say less. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna analyze this here. Analyze and psychoanalyze with that Scorpio card there. And it's Venus hour at this time. Go the distance, number 47. We have go the distance. Do it the unconventional way. Whether this is business, marriage, health, chaos and conflict, Sagittarius energy as far as chaos magic. Go the distance, chaos and conflict. Not this one sitting there about to get ate up. Huh. Predator and prey energy showing up here. You learned your lesson of no longer being preyed on. You're being mindful as to what it is you answer to. Opportunities are on your side. New moon in Sagittarius, you did. That's shame. Message in the bottle. Okay. So this would be here. This is gonna be hilarious. Not really. Mending. Well, yeah, let's put it together. Let's go for it. Well, I'm hearing Issa voice. Go for it, go for it, go, hold for it, hold for it. Not insecure. What's going on? That's my shit. Insecure? I love that show. Current energy. He said, get a good, great shuffle. All right. 8 o'clock on the door. Because now with the way I placed the now that I placed the go the distance card in the middle, it's no longer facing the zebra. So the zebra is not in a harmful position. This cheetah, though, is going directly towards this message in the bottle, the flamingo. So when it comes to this past life energy, it's a past life, either cosmic war or familiar war among under the rug. But what I'm picking up on right now, there ain't no more rug to sweep things under. Go ahead, take it. And because things have been swept since you were, before you were conceived, but the moment people found out that you were coming into the world, your energy was coming into the world, you may have had situations, energies coming towards you to stop your energy from evolving. But that was what these energies don't realize is that's exactly why you chose it. Why this is exactly why you chose to be around that dynamic, even if you had to grow into the understanding of your mission in this lifetime. Is to break through all of the deceit that was preventing the bloodline from thriving, constantly in a position of not being able to feel rooted and grounded within themselves, which can lead to people amongst the bloodline entering relationships that truly don't serve their purpose, and they're walking in their reality on this planet blindly, choosing to be ignorant and not awakened. But look at it, when I'm saying people, it's more so the energy that found a host to take part of, to take control of. But you are the actual host that was always protected. It could be something specific to water deities, because that's also showed up in the mudras at the bottom of the deck, water element. Or houses of endings are the water houses, 4, 8, 12. Okay, those are the houses of endings. Even if you felt as though situations were affecting you, is very similar to that spiritual magic card. Oh, fuck, I shuffled it. Yeah, see, look. Well, always protected. And it landed right over there. You were secretly kept. You were secretly kept. It landed right over there. And that card here is 16. This is 15. The one. The one to level it up. To cut it at the root. That big ass machete. You could be a manifester because zebras are connected to manifestors, a manifesting generator. First card out, current energy, the alchemist, the seeker, chaos magic, Sagittarius, temperance. Remember what we said at the beginning, right? In regards to getting to the seed and not cutting things from the first stage of it blossoming. Major arcana, temperance, higher self is currently moving here for the collective as the alchemist, as the one who's able to see through it all. Even more so with Pluto in Aquarius, having this instant knowing. I also heard instant gratification. Interesting. Instant gratification. The challenge is balance. Another major arcana. Hold on, before I go any further, because I'm seeing quite a few major arcanas. Where is the collective right now because of the messages that have been relayed thus far? Let me get an archetype and an animal card here. They said move in that Virgo fashion, so here I am. Your manifesting generator. The peacock. Oh shit. 22. Master builder energy. Taurus, you are worthy. Taurus is connected to the master builder as well. Some of you could be studying the metaphysical Bible because it literally went over to that just now. Reveal with pride, revel with pride and beauty. The peacock. Where are y'all at right now? Let me see. Because the peacock carries all gifts. It's an embodiment of carrying all the gifts of many generations and many timelines of your bloodline. A symbol of individual expression and personal pride. When we receive the message of the peacock, we're invited to reveal our true essence and show the world who we really are without fear or shame. So you may have had for a while a blocked root to solar plexus chakra out of alignment. The peacock encourages the collective to accept and embrace one's unique and special qualities, revealing one's inner and outer beauty with confidence. You're invited to reveal your beauty and authenticity with confidence. You are reminded to embrace your unique qualities and to show the world who you really are with elegance and security. This allows you to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. And it's something about putting your work out there. Yeah, putting your work out there, showing yourself fully. Based off of the way we just talked about, you know, people on TikTok just doing what they love to do. Okay? Minding their own business and living their best life. And then the Griffin, 2226, balance strength and wisdom and fight with honor. The fighting with honor is you being the most authentic expression of yourself and revealing your true self to yourself first, and then that would effortlessly be shown to others. With the Raven, the hidden theme for you is you are embracing the mystery and ingenuity. 5. Psalm 111, 112, 4. Light shines in the darkness for the godly. They are generous, compassionate, and righteous. Greatness comes to those who lend money generously and conduct their business fairly. Psalm 112, but the top of the page says 111. And 15 to 16, that's 1. This is page 365 over here, where it starts, where it shows at the very top of Psalm 118. Which one is this that we just looked at? 4 was 118? 4. Let all who fear the Lord repeat, his faithful love endures forever. What is the Lord, esoterically speaking, metaphysically speaking? It's the head of the household. Okay? So this is basically saying that if you are in a state of fear, a blocked root chakra, allow the heaven on body, on earth, connect to the essence of the head where the land of milk and honey is, all right? The pineal and pituitary gland, and repeat, the Lord's faithful love endures forever. In my distress, I prayed to the Most High, or that essence, and the Lord answered me and set me free. Yo, when I tell you, it just got so hot just now. Allow yourself to be connected to that by you voicing these words, connecting to this essence, that is the way for you to activate the essence of the Most High, your heaven on earth, to bring heaven on earth, which is what this age is about. 112, 4-5, and 118, 4-5. Okay. Head of house. The head of house. Lord, head of house. So throughout this, we're going to have to be embracing the mystery within La Biblia. Embrace mystery and ingenuity. See, there's a reason why I'm pausing for so long here. Give me a second. I need to get a napkin. Is this thing here? That Mario Brothers too. Okay. Give me a second. Because I'm not allowed to move right now from what I'm doing right here. So let's go look at this real quick. 1411. Let me see what the lexicon talking about before we move any further. Here's 4. Wow. Wow. That's literally Aries rules the head. You literally just said head of household with that. Sheesh. this one. Not the internet acting funny. Oh. Had to reset it. Treasurer. 1411 is equivalent to treasurer. Let's go to, it's directing us to Daniel. Someone's name could be Daniel. Danielle. You gonna open up? Treasurer. Taurus vibes again. Someone could have been a treasurer in elementary, junior high. Gratitude for the floating heart, beloved. Why is this not opening? Let's see. Let me check the other one I go to. Let's see. Okay. Daniel 3:2. Yeah, this is giving the vibes of, not shit, you was sent to collect. You were sent to collect. Yikes. This is why you were always protected. Daniel has to do with judgment, age of Aquarius. You're always, your spirit soul is always here when there is an ending going into a new beginning. Every end into a new age, your spirit soul encounters or has an experience on the planet. The Crossroad Maiden. I love that. Ooh, see another major arcana. Look at what we just landed on. 111. It's your hands, because Psalms, play with them letters, gives palms. You established in the Genesis. Boom. Okay. Wow. You have all of the tools. Rebirth. You have all of the tools to start anew, along with the awareness. It would 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. Then it went to 2. What's at the bottom here? The root chakra. Yo, you see this? Saturn, time, collect, keeper, time, lessons. Use what? Use this information you're hearing wisely. This is not about being humble, and it's not about being arrogant either. Show me. Another major arcana, the Hermit. You've experienced your chaos and conflict and solitude behind it with Archangel Michael by your side the entire time. Root chakra again. 113:44 on a timer. I don't even want to say that you suffered in silence. What you, okay. So in moments of solitude, what's behind you is this moment of solitude that you experience due to the revelation that you weren't suffering in silence. You were recalibrating in silence, but you were able to feel or have the thought process of the silence. The silence was loud for you, still is. The silence is very clear. And it's 5359. We're already on Daniel 3. Let me see what it's talking about. Let me go to my other one. Five to nine. As soon as you hear the second horn, flute, cither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship the image of the gold that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever does not fall down and worship will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace. Therefore, as soon as they heard the sound of the horn, flute, cither, lyre, harp, and all kinds of music, all the nations and peoples of every language fell down and worshipped the image of the gold that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. At this time, some astrologers came forward and denounced the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "May the king live forever. Your majesty has issued a decree that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flute, cither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music must fall down and worship the image of gold. And that whoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into the blazing furnace." The fact that they even do mention astrologers in the book. Okay, now move out the way. Okay. Because what I'm getting from this is the way some of this information is sitting in the vessels in the blood that the collective, those of you here listening to this message, what it is that you're transmuting is the literal verbiage of this. The literal verbiage of this. Where now there's more of an external form of seeking security rather than within oneself. Especially with this earthy element showing up here. As far as gold, which has to do with finances in a sense, material security, second house. moving on your own timing, your own signal, your own alignment, and not on someone else's dominion over their earth element or over the way that they ground themselves. Similar to what works for you and your healing may be poison to another, which is why now this phase that is behind you is the reasons as to why you stepped into solitude and working with the angle or angel, Archangel Michael, to sever situations, partnerships at the root, so you can refine yourself within your own seed. Okay. Because with this balance card showing up here, you have all of the elements that show up: fire, earth, water, and air here, right? And at the root of your spread, at the foundation of your spread, you have the Magician, which also reflects having all of the tools. I said get out of the way, right? What's blocking this awareness? Manifestation is also connected to this. We still have the root chakra, which is also one. Yeah, strategy right up under that. 121, square root of 11. Square root of 121, 11. Block to this. What's in the way? Not the fucking King of Pentacles. Taurus energy. Value. You see how, did you see that? King of Pentacles, King of Earth energy. If we're looking at it from an elemental. What blocks your awareness of all the tools that you already have currently in your hand? And part of the lesson has to do with the way you take the time to align with your own value, because you also have strategy, patience, and planning. This is a Saturn and Taurus card. Also with that 11 showing up, 2 pillars. And then you have family with the angel of balance behind it. This is where some of you are making a decision, obviously. Having to do with family. And that's why one has to be mindful as to the way they're using grimoires. Because every religious text is a grimoire, literally. And it's not to be read in a literal sense. So you all are stripping away, you know what I'm saying? That reality, that notion, that way of moving, thinking, choosing. Because it can easily instill fear. And fear blocks the root chakra, which also comes with the blockage of one's finances or feeling rooted and grounded home within oneself. What else? Clarify. Why is this here? The Ace of Cups. To send a charge of disregard to one's emotions, because the secret is feeling. So if you don't feel safe, you're going to seek safety. But where one seeks safety is going to make the difference whether that is long-term or non-existent. as far as that feeling safety, the feeling of safety, security, and being grounded. Now, on a whole nother note, getting up out of that realm, when it comes to significant long-term partnerships, unconditional love, a beautiful equilibrium when it comes to your foundation, to now be able to align and manifest a secure partnership that involves unconditional love. Because what's behind you has been this period of solitude, and working also with Archangel Michael to clear out any type of chaos and conflict that you may have been experiencing in that department, either of your finances or love. And beautifully so, with this message in the bottle, which is in the section of what's happening next, or what the energy is bringing in. This also has to do with, you know, a companion that truly aligns with you mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. Deep soul level connection. Now, you want me to go back here? Yeah, if you've been feeling tired, feeling as though you're resting too much, you're not resting too much. The collective is going through a massive upgrade in being able to sit, I almost said sweat, to sit in the dwellings of the heart and ground within the heart space, which is what the collective is not used to. You know, many experience love, more so conditional based love. Unconditional, it's not transactional at all, where, you know, because one did something for another, there's that love. With the collective rising up to the heart chakra, this is what enables or allows the frequency of being able to recognize where that frequency of unconditional love is that can be reciprocated back to you. But you must have within yourself first. Because right now, each of you are going to connect with where you are at precisely within yourself. So the more you hold yourself accountable for what it is that you experience, and the way to do that, you chose this experience to, you know, make the changes in order for you to evolve as a soul. What's crowning the collective here? What's crowning this message? The sacral. Wow. And it came out in a uncomfortable energy. Sacral, womb space, mother. Your first home is in the womb of your mother. Even if you may not realize it, you're picking, especially, yeah, because this is a curse breaker for sure, a generational shifter, bloodline shifter, where your focus is the bloodline, not the family, the blood that runs through each host or vessel that becomes family, from whichever generation it has been on this planet. That's how deep this message is, where you are the one that carries all of it. It's at the root of you. You have the seed. Literally, for this, you were required to have an ethereal sense of patience, because of how charged you are cosmically. Yes, mitochondria. Yep. Of how charged up you are cosmically, you had to have a certain level of patience, which is why you have a significant amount of angels working with you here. The way I'm seeing this, because music came up, this is coming through as Metatron right now, because Metatron connects to music, helping you to see the message clearer through music, through sounds, through rhythm, vibrations, through patterns. Tell me more. What's at the bottom here? Spiritual strength and more of that heart chakra energy showing up here. This is the Nine of Wands energy, which also carries the date as to when Neptune in Pisces goes direct. You know? So yeah. You've been holding it up. This is basically you here in this realm, but this is truly your essence this entire time. Emerald tablets, Thoth. New beginnings. What's at the forefront of what's crowding this energy is the higher self messenger. That's what I'm getting. Higher self, the one that brings forth judgment, and that's Daniel. Or the essence of Daniel. Yeah, let me see. This is getting trippy. Spiritual judgment. Daniel metaphysically represents spiritual judgment. You the one that came here to collect all the fragmented pieces, and go about your new journey with your cosmic primal information. 0 to 2 degrees in your chart. If you have 0 to 2 degrees in your chart, this is specific to you. That's the raw energy of that planet and sign that it's in. Some of you are actually should get more into astrology. You'll be amazing as an astrologer or astronomy. Okay. Let me get one more. No. But what's this? Yeah, moving. No. Look, move on to what's next. You got 3 1 degree. Okay. Now it's making more sense why. Yeah, okay. Next is triumph and love. So now this becomes, okay. So when it comes to matters of love, spiritual divine unions, some of you have had quite a treacherous journey in aligning if you were in a union right now, and if you're not getting to it because of what had to be healed along the bloodline, because there was a certain way of connecting or experiencing love that was more traumatic than it was a form of safety. 133:16, divine guidance surrounds you now for this revelation or sudden awakening, where this is another reason why some of you, it makes it easier for you to make certain decisions about who to disconnect or cut off. 133:33, because you're recognizing the more you stay around these people or energy, it trickles into the way you connect or who you connect to in matters of relationships. So the moment you cut that cord or remove yourself from that reality, now you make yourself available and receptive to your own vision. you know, planting your own seed as to the way you want to experience the alchemy of love. Okay. Yeah. Who it is precisely for some of you that you're seeing in your dreams, and you may not be, because the mask energy is showing up again, you may not realize this is the person you have to disconnect yourself from, even if it's just for a moment, so that way you can recalibrate and realign with your true assignment. They're showing up in your dreams constantly, and they may be showing up in your dreams as someone that helps you, but they're wearing a mask, as far as they're more of a blockage than a help. The way you utilize and alchemize that is, you don't get upset about, you know, them being a blockage. You just recognize they are the hurdle that you keep, energetically, you keep running into a stopping point. It's because, you know, all you have to do is run through that hurdle, because hurdles, technically, you don't jump. You run through the hurdle. That's me. Okay, let me leave the track alone for a little bit. But when there's a hurdle, you run through it. You don't stop in front of it, in a sense. But you don't notice that this is what this is. It's showing up as far as a wall, or as if you can't cross any further. And the way that plays out, let's say in a practical sense, you find yourself putting to the side something that has to do with you building your business, or let's say you want to start out a new workout plan, or you want to eat differently. The energy, even if it's not right in your face, subliminally is that strong to alter your neural pathways, to veer you off into not doing what you're supposed to be doing for yourself. And the way that your body and your mind and soul is going to start showing you this blockage or this standstill is that this energy is going to show up in your dreams constantly. And y'all may not even be beefing or anything. You know, it's just energetically, their frequency is on 2, and you are a 9 to 12 dimensional being, and you operate with a 3D dimensional situation. You have to go to a certain realm where your wings can actually come out, in a sense. Okay. Before I keep ranting. Advice. The heart chakra. Meaning confirmation. What we're saying right now, we right on track, y'all. Message in the bottle. We right on track here. Leave that track alone. Place your train back onto your own track. Run your own race. You have a new level of patience here that kicked in as well. The advice is to tune into the heart chakra. In order to do so, you're going to have to let go of fear, shame, and guilt, which will release any chains or blockages from what stands under the heart chakra. Remember, we've already mentioned that the collective is going through a shift of being able to dwell in that space, to stand in that space. To stand in that space, one has to be in alignment from the root to the soul, to the solar plexus. Sirens right now, 846. Let me see. Because that also represents Michael as well. Sirens. The red and blue. This 846 here. Wall, paneling, beams, structure. Okay. Wow. And that's what you were building in the past here. Yes, with Michael, through the chaos and the conflict, mastering, placing yourself in uncomfortable positions, because 33 is also the number of the hangman, the Pisces card. Placing yourself in an uncomfortable position to be enlightened so that there can be an extension of the spine. So some of you in that allow you to release too. Stretching, especially the hip area, because a lot of trauma sits within the hip area. Okay. More about the advice. Moving on. Oh. Moving into purity. Now, purity doesn't mean that you out here being soft either. Purity in the sense of that primordial essence. Raw vibration. Moon in Cancer. See, something about the chakras aligning here through a spinal adjustment. Especially for those of you who do have access to that, where you can go someone to adjust you. Whenever you find yourself going through any type of emotional challenges and you're breaking out of it, go for that adjustment of the body so that way it can be released. Okay? My sister said, I'm listening to Silence by Popcorn. Wow. Ashe. The song that she sent me from Pandora's Box. And that's also another thing that has been embedded within the collective of those who don't know as something to fear. Nah. Open up your Pandora's box. Well, that's what, look at the phoenix is right under the raven, by the way, as we over here looking at this here now. 525, Gemini. Embrace the mystery and ingenuity. Rise from the ashes, transformation and regeneration. That's a 12-3, but 12 is also, 12-12 could be of high significance when it comes to once you've experienced some type of emotional challenge. The moment you start seeing 12-12-12, the 4-4-4s, that emotional challenge was designed to get you realigned to your primal gifts, your primordial gifts, whether it's Atlantis, Lemuria, whatever it is that you connect to that is beyond this timeline. Okay, that's your signal to reconnect to it. Because those emotional challenges places you into a vulnerable state. And when you're alchemizing those vulnerable states, you can easily reconnect to the true essence of all that you are, from ancient of times that are not even written, before cuneiform even. You know what I'm saying? So cut all cords of codependency. You could be born the year of the horse, 1990, 2002, 1978 could be of significance. And then we have, speaking of 12, bringing into a 3, we have the rune of Fehu, which speaks of fulfillment, ambition, flowing, wealth, new beginnings, dynamic power, sexual attraction, young love, initial conditions of young love, avoiding reckless bliss. Okay. This is also bringing in mobile, expansive forces of money, wealth, cattle. There goes more Taurus energy again, which is also, this is basically showing up here. Property. Yeah, that home energy is coming up again. 434. Someone could live in 434. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, stay on the path of your north node. Habits of the past. Those are tools that you have no problem with utilizing. Just don't live in the past. Utilize tools that you can. 144, 44. And align with purpose. North node, south node. What do you have here? 203. Yeah, so you could be someone who has a connection to different elemental forces or deities, respectfully. You're not someone who has to go through some level of initiation. Granted that there are closed practices, but before all of these practices, there were, you know, civilizations that dwelled here on this earth that those closed practices refer to in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So this would be someone who has just a raw connection to the elements and the understanding and overstanding of those elements. It causes you to be an attraction to all of these other deities and things of practices that could be closed in a sense. Okay. But obviously, to whom much is given, much is required. That's not going to be for everybody because it requires you to have a certain level of patience and wisdom and balance to do so. I feel as though that's a message here for some of you as well, where part of your challenge is recognizing how closely connected you are to source itself that creates all things, as far as the vastness of that energy, because what does source go to? Where does source come from? That should just easily be a feeling, vibration, and frequency. That's all it really is. But even in saying that, that's still giving it a name. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. We have peace enters your life when you surrender. Okay. We have the pale horse showing up, Revelation 6, verses 7 through 8. Death energy, Hades. Okay. It's not about ending. They symbolize the pale horse and its rider, death, are not just about ending. They symbolize initiation into the mystery of transformation. So that's the confirmation there. This is the shamanic journey through the underworld. So the shamanic, even in the traditions of one becoming a shaman, is one having an experience where they're unalived, go to the other side and come back. And some of you go through those experiences through, whether if it's a mother wound or father wound, your Chiron tells you exactly as to the way you can turn on your shamanic experience or journey. Because that's the wound that it states that you cannot heal from. It's almost as if it's supposed to take you up on out of here. But the way you come back from that, going through the full transformation, death into rebirth, is that you take yourself away from the acceptance that this is a wound, that first and foremost, that it's a wound. Secondly, that you cannot heal yourself from. And the way to heal yourself from it is to take away the narrative that it's a wound that you can't heal yourself from. You see? The body, mind, spirit, and soul already overstands that notion as to the way things move and operate. But because of the advancement of this vessel that one calls a body, it can easily alter that experience, where now one is unaware of the level of power one has within. Okay. Death here is not an end, but a passage. It activates the phoenix archetype, burning away the temporal so the eternal self may emerge. It represents ego death, ancestral clearing, and soul transmutation. Dolores Cannon is coming up because in some of her hypnosis that she has done for, whomever she's done it for, the whole gist of that was that death was just basically you plugging yourself out of having a human experience, which means you can decide how long you want to play this game. Yeah. That's another part of where some of you are making decisions when it comes to certain people that you consider loved ones, where you are having to make a decision based off of your integrity, your level of knowing, your peace, your calm, your serenity. Because if people want to continuously play the victim and follow these systems that tell them, oh, you have this, so this is going to happen, instead of them connecting to the inner knowing and healing that their body is capable of, she can get spooky. Just saying. That's why when you hear of people who live beyond 200, okay, they're not surrounded by people who complain all day, and the first, you know, thing that someone tells them, well, you have this and you have that. The moment that someone says that a person has this and the person claims it by saying, I have, now you have just embodied the energy. That's all it takes. But without discipline, one cannot be devoted to themselves. And now discipline brings one to the topic of disciples, or the 12 faculties of the mind. That when you understand and understand the 12 faculties of your mind, you look at your wheel. You know, when they say Jesus take the wheel, you are that Christ, you are that Jesus that's supposed to take your wheel. It's your astrology wheel. You take that, you go through a transformation that instantly. 13 is transformation. We're looking at that vibes over here now. The resistance to change is what be having people fucked up. You know, so okay. We have here April, Naga Pearl, nether realm of earth or underworld, serpent pearl, half human, half cobra. Now, if you notice on the cobra on the back of the head of a cobra has a north node symbol. Literally has the north node symbol on the back of his head. So that also describes the energy of the Kundalini awakening, wisdom gained through experiences. This is also connected to numbers 215, to be or become light and shine. 450, Eliada, God knows. And 75, to feed. Feed yourself the light of your God knowing. And transform. And then we have the moon tone 12 of crystal, the essence of cooperation, universalizes the action. Dedicate to universalizing in crystal form. Let me see what this is saying here. Where does this come from? Very interesting. This is not supposed to be here. This is one of my own little cards. This is not supposed to be here. What is Hold on. This is not supposed to be here. 901. It's 901. Treacherous, deceitful. Shit. So you have your presence embodies what is not supposed to be here and removes it, which is why people may get highly uncomfortable with your presence or your existence alone. You don't even have to be in the same environment with people, but the fact that you exist, that's all that had to take place or has taken place. For this change that may have been resisted within one's bloodline. And you, once again, are the seed. Look at this, Rado, which has to do with communication, a journey, agreement. Yeah, there's a, see, the consequences of this, of not taking on the inevitability of change is financial stability, stagnancy, or being blocked. The one who is irritated the most is the one who has this pity party constantly. But other than that, when it comes to decisions that you make moving forward here, collective, follow up with immediate action. Decision making followed by immediate action. Or this is the essence that is surrounding you now. So you may be doing things that may be uncomfortable, but it places you into divine comfortability, taking charge, living in the present, having access to inner advice. Protection while traveling as well. Then you have here, Order of the Blue Rose, Melchizedek. Sophia template is being activated. One can carry 12 strands, but if it's not activated, doesn't mean anything. So there's an activation of the 12 strand Christos, which is also connecting one to an eternal spiritual priesthood of divine alignment. And this is having a connection to the Sephirats within the Kabbalah of Tiferet and Keter. Beauty, harmony, the crown, pure consciousness of love and wisdom, original DNA codes for the human collective for Earth. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You're an ascended, either some of you here are one or the other or all. Ascended master, celestial scribe, planetary guardian, a guardian of universal law. You may have a strong connection to Syrian and Andromedan councils of light. You are also a guide of multidimensional remembrance. Okay. You possess the occult keys of human salvation through knowing yourself. Why are you over here? Make sure I move the right one. Yeah, okay. All right, you have the triple goddess energy, mother, maiden, crone. You could be a white royal bridger in galactic signatures. Me too. Which is the zone of the Hierophant. You carry galactic lessons of Mars. and you came here to lead in this building of industrial civilization in this age. There's also, you carry memories of Mars as well as atomic bombs. Mount Fuji could be of significance. Ancient mysteries of Takanouchi could be of significance too. Land of the rising sun, Japan. As a white world bridger, your power is death or transformation through the action of equalizing, through the essence of opportunity. The planet Mars and the throat chakra is where you access this information. Anything else? Let's see. If you are a red moon in galactic signature, you carry the galactic lessons of Mercury. You're the zone of the healer. You have the ability to open portals of healing knowledge. West Antarctica, Antarctic Peninsula, southernmost Atlantic Ocean, Tierra del Fuego, South Georgia, southern Chile, and southern Argentina could be of significance. You're part of the family that anchors. If you are a yellow seed, red moon, white wizard, or blue storm in galactic signature, you're part of the gateway family, the family that anchors. Innocence, healing, wizardry, being a wizard, and world changers. If you are a white wizard in galactic signature, you also have a strong connection to Maldek, which is what created the asteroid belt. It used to sit in between Mars and Jupiter. So you're connected to jaguars as well. You're also a seer, prophet, prophetess. January could be of significance. Pisces. You could have Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn in Scorpio, your gift is emotional alchemy and shadow authority. You're the transmuter of power. Your lesson is in power and control. As a Saturn in Scorpio, you are the karmic surgeon gifted in emotional excavation, trauma work, and soul transformation. Your power lies in transmuting the hidden into strength. Your affirmation is, I walk through death to rebuild truth. I am the alchemist of the unseen. New moon could be of significance. You deserve this. Feel as though you deserve your this. The remembrance of you being an ancient divine feminine, divine masculine. You are remembering. Which was that was the most recent one, new moon in Virgo, 29 degrees. You're one of the witnesses. We have strong abilities that came. This is the reason why you chose your father that you have now. Okay. So the solar eclipse, as we know, occurs when the moon moves between the earth and the sun, temporarily obscuring the sun's light. Symbolically, basically, this represents the soul, sun, being momentarily veiled by the unconscious moon. It opens a portal where the inner world rewrites the outer reality. Mystically speaking, the divine feminine moon energy, pausing the will of divine masculine sun to redirect the soul towards its truer path, Hidden truths rise. Vision clears. The eclipse acts as a solar silence before a great awakening. Receive, rest, listen deeply, and set intentions only if your soul feels them rooted in authenticity and not ego. Okay. Being guided to stop there. 6 to 9 months is also of significance. Saturn in Aries. Your gift is courageous authority. Your lesson is in impulse control and self-initiation. You are the flame builder. Saturn in Aries. You are here. Hold on, my bad. You are here to master self-leadership. Saturn in Aries brings the sacred discipline of action rooted in integrity. You teach others to begin boldly and finish faithfully. You anchor impulsive fire into enduring flame. Your affirmation: I am the masters of beginnings. I carve new paths with sacred will. You don't have to be any of those placements, but if they resonate, this is what's going to allow you to move on and into the heart chakra. What's in your environment? Let me see, what was at the bottom again? Okay, Moon and Cancer energy, 644. Your body is remembering your gifts of ancient times. 644. Let me see which one is 64. Number 6 and 4 shows 64. I feel as though there's a gap closing between two vessels or two souls. As the soul may be that massive that it's within two vessels, or these two vessels and their separate souls. I felt that very strongly. 64, Howardis, Knight of Swords. Destroys and burns all enemies when requested. Speaks of the creation of the world. Tells of past and future. Howardis. Came here to collect. Your body remembers. Your body remembers the signal as to when to enter. But this time you get to experience love. You're not just coming here for that mission. You're here to experience unconditional love. Successful, victorious, unconditional love. I mean, you have before, but it seemed as though it was short-lived in a past life. Almost feels as though it was a sacrifice to fulfill a mission, but now you're doing both. The mission and love. What's in your environment is accelerated motion. 8 of Wands, Mercury and Sagittarius. Now, 0 degrees. See? That makes sense. Total sense. Because what's crowning you is the energy, the downloads, the depths of it all, especially when it comes to those situations that are deep, sensitive, and psychological that may have prevented you from soul evolution. And that comment, 3-eye Atlas, third eye, first eye. Atlas, right here. This is why the collective is rising up here. In order to get here, you got to go through the bridge, you know? That's shame. Straight up. High priestess. That's... man. Yeah. So this is basically confirming the message as a high priestess to giving you that information. Also, as I do have Mercury and Sag too. So what do you want me to tell them here? What do you want me to decipher actually? The conflict and defeat, which is in your immediate past. Okay, let's clarify it then. This is me being weird. Okay. Archangel Michael is presenting himself now. Because the card for Archangel Michael is 35. 8 of Wands. 8. First Deacon Sagittarius is 8 of Wands, which is also connected to the royal star Antares.